Well, I wanted to leave a legacy behind for my kids and grandkids regarding marriage and faith and our relationship with God. And so I think marriage is downplayed and downcast so much these days. And so I was hoping Don and I could bring some joy to the subject.
And actually, when she came to me with the idea, I thought it was pretty corny. But as I thought about it, I thought, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. And we've now been together for, well, soon, within days of 50 years, which is a pretty good milestone. So I thought, this is worthwhile. We do need to do this. So I acquiesced.
Well, I was born in 1948 in Omaha, Nebraska. And I was born to Andy and Dorothy Lamoureux. That's a French name. And so I was French. I am French and English. And I had two younger brothers who unfortunately have passed away now. But I grew up with Drew and Chris. And we lived for 5 years in Nebraska. And we moved to California about when I was 5 years old. And we've been in California ever since. Most of our life, at least as a kid, I lived in Bakersfield, that's where I met Don, and we had a good family.
For me, born in 47, so I'll be 72 here in a couple of months. I was born to a Catholic Irish family. I'm the oldest of 6. Let's see, I met Jeannie actually after high school. I was a freshman, and I'd finished my freshman year, and she was becoming a freshman, and we were both attending a dance every summer in Bakersfield. They had a dance at Lake Maine. There was a battle of the bands, and I saw this good-looking, brown-eyed, brown-haired gal across the way, and I thought, I think I'm going to go over there and see if I can introduce myself and have a dance. She agreed, and we had a number of dances together. I had to go home early that night because I had my sister with me, and I had instructions to get her home early. So I asked Jeannie, I said, would you mind if I gave you a call? And she said, sure. So neither of us had a pen. She wrote it on a piece of paper on lipstick, and I threw it on the dash of my car, and being summer, the next day I went out there, it was a blur, just completely gone. And so I thought, well, shoot, that one got away. But then I saw her at the used bookstore there at Bakersfield College, and went over and we kind of played cat and mouse, you might say. Reintroducing ourselves, and I asked her if she would like to go to an icebreaker dance, and then I kind of backed off from that, and then I met her again at the icebreaker dance, and I think we were there. We stayed together the rest of the night.
Yes, but actually our first date was him asking me to go to his water polo match, where he had a bathing suit on this big.
Well, it was just, everybody had a bathing suit on that.
I know,
but anyway,
but
yeah.
he was very muscular, and I think he wanted to show it off.
I was trying to impress her, yes, without a doubt.
Things weren't going that well with that boyfriend, so I thought, hey, this is a pretty good catch. So, yep. And so once we started going together, though, we never did break up.
Yeah.
And we went together for a year, and then we were engaged for 10 months. And we got engaged right before he went to Vietnam on a ship. You
Yeah.
want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, my sophomore year at college, I got my draft notice, and I knew it was coming. And I was, at best, a C student, oldest of 6. There was no reason I was going to get out of it. I was good and healthy. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll join the Navy and avoid Vietnam. Well, I got sent right to Vietnam. But before I left, I knew I wanted to hang on to this gal, so I asked her if she would marry me. And when I got back, I didn't want to do that before I got back. So she waited for me while I did my tour of duty over there. And when I got back, we got married right away.
Yeah, about 1 month after we got back. So I pretty much had everything all arranged, and you just kind of had to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And tell them about your look-see on the top of the mountain.
Oh yeah, well I have to say,
Grapevine.
yeah, coming back from San Diego, I stopped at the top of the Grapevine and looked down there and said, oh, you know what, I'm going to get married if I go down there. And do I really know what I'm doing? Probably not. But you know what, I knew I cared for this lady a lot, and I thought, you know, I'm gonna move with this thing. So I followed through, and here we are 50 years later.
And we were I was 20 and he was 21, so we were very young.
Mm-hmm.
But we were, I hate to brag, but we were pretty solid people even back then, as you can be solid in age 20 and 21. So we had somewhat of some wisdom getting married. We were the same religion.
Yeah.
We were the same religion. We grew up with basically the same kind of values, and socioeconomic things were about the same. So yeah, we seemed to be on the same plane with most things. So
yeah,
we said, go for it.
Well, for me, you know, I think I was socially a little backwards. I was never comfortable in social environments, and here I am a banker, and there's lots of social events that come up that you're kind of expected to go to. And I would observe her and see how comfortable she was in that environment, how she would just ask the right questions of people, and they would just flock to her. And next thing I know, she's engaged in conversations, and I just observed that for a long time and learned how to be more sociable and how to get people to respond and engage with them. So that's one of the big things that she brought to my life.
And for me, he's a very neat and tidy person, and I'm not by nature. So I have to work at it a lot harder, but he just does it naturally. And another thing about him is he's disciplined. So his life as a young man was very disciplined. He was valley champion in swimming his senior year. And so he was into exercise a lot. Whereas my family, the only exercise we got was sitting at the table dealing the cards. That's about the only exercise we got. And so actually that could have been a really bad collision as we got married, but he made it very clear that I better not get fat. So, because my whole family was very overweight, so he made it clear I better not get overweight. Mm-hmm. And so
you want to bring that up, huh?
Some women would have rebelled at that, but I knew it would be good for me to try to stay in shape as well. So then I became disciplined with exercise and portion control, because I used to eat a lot, and I would have ended up being 2-ton Annie if I had not gotten hitched up with this guy.
Okay, that's a lot of information. We have two wonderful children, but Jeff Mendenhall and well, actually Stephanie was first. Stephanie Williams now, obviously it was Mendenhall, and Jeff Mendenhall. But in between those two, we had a baby that we lost. And that was real impactful to me. I thought I had the world by the tail and that I could control a lot of things, and all of a sudden my world was rocked and I realized I don't have control of a lot of things. And there was a fella in Vietnam that was writing a lot of letters to us and talking about their group up there praying for us, and that was a little foreign to us. We didn't understand that. And when he came down to visit his sister who lived in this area, he talked to us about a personal relationship with the Lord, and we agreed and accepted that challenge, you might say, and it's now been a part of our life for 45 years.
45 years.
Yeah. So that was one of the big impactful things. She had cancer almost 10 years ago, and I felt like I got kicked in the stomach when that came up, and thank God we were given the grace to have more time together. We got that beat. So there's ups and downs in life, and there's other events, but I won't get into everything.
Well, that one accident.
Well, yeah, you were in an accident. I was up at a men's retreat, and I was given a call that she was in a serious accident, and the words were given to me that she's alive now, but you have to get down the hill right away. And all the way down the hill, I was burying her, thinking, what am I going to do? I still had our kids at home, and I was definitely rocked over that. And when I got to the hospital, and she was not seriously injured, she was bruised up pretty bad, but not seriously injured, I just broke down. So there's things like that change your life.
Yeah, he broke down on my, he just laid on my lap and just bawled like a baby.
Well,
It
that's
was one of a couple times in our married life that he cried. He also cried when our baby died. And but you know, he was a little messenger from God to use our sadness and loss to look deeper into our souls, and then starting that relationship with Jesus Christ that was the turning point, well, a turning point in our life, the most important one probably, to try to have a good marriage and raise our kids as good as we could.
Yeah, well, I'll suggest a few things. Like Jeannie said, you know, we started off kind of equal in our upbringing, our values. We came to a faith together. We have the same goals financially. And, you know, I think for guys, it's very important that we both stay attractive for each other. You know, guys are guys, and we always will be until I'm sure we're married. But you have to fight some of the demons that the world throws at you out there. And it's tough. And to have a wife that is always doing her best to keep herself up is important. And it may sound very fleshy, and it is to some degree, but it's also very important that we do that for each other. Because there's snow on the roof and a few shingles maybe that are missing, doesn't mean there isn't still some fire in the fireplace. And it's different now. When you're in your 70s, it's different, but it's still there. So that would be kind of the keys that I might bring up.
And for me, mine all begin with F, okay? Faith. And so that would involve prayer. We pray together every morning. There's very few times, maybe we miss one a month, but we dedicate our day in the morning to the Lord, and that's not to brag, but just to say that's been an important thing especially since he's been retired, that we can dedicate our day and start it well. And then we attend church together. We did that. We've always done that, and I'm very grateful for that, because a lot of ladies have to go to church by themselves, and it's sad when that happens. But he always went. He always made sure we all went. So that's his first step. And then forgiveness. If you don't have forgiveness and practice forgiveness in your marriage, you're going to hit a lot of obstacles.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, and that won't be good. And then family. family is pretty self-explanatory. We have Stephanie, and she married Dwayne. We have Jeff, he married Katie. And Stephanie and Dwayne have 3 kids. And they are Macy, who's 20, Darren, who's 18, and Bridget, 11. And then
On Jeff's side, there's Kaylee, who's our oldest at 21, and her sister, Allison, I call her Peanut, who is 17, will be 18 in a few months.
So that's the family. And then the friends are very important to make good, solid friends. We have had beautiful friends our whole life, before we knew the Lord and after, and we're just very, very grateful for them and the contribution that they've made to our life and upholding us, encouraging us.
Those kind of things help you stay on track, having an accountability to other women, guys.
Yeah,
It's
and
big.
the last thing is fun. We try to have a lot of fun together, and one of the things we do is travel together, and just go out of town. And so we have fun together. Yeah. I wish that I would have realized that marriage is 100-100. That's my opinion. Some people would still say it's 50-50, but I think you have to give 100-100. Sometimes you have to give 150 when the other one isn't given any or given 50. So, but anyway, that would be one thing. Just that once you're married, there's a lot of dual decisions for pretty much everything you do that's substantial, like how you spend your money and things like that.
Yeah. Well, for me, I wished I would have realized real early what a jewel I have in Jeannie and her life and what she's brought to my life. She decided early on she was going to be a stay-at-home mom, and that worked out very well for us in our relationship with our kids. Financially, it was a struggle back then because, even though I was a banker, you start at the bottom of the heap and build your way up, and there wasn't a lot of resources, and I still wanted a lot of toys, and she wanted to raise kids, and I'm very thankful that she stuck it out and kind of put up with my griping while I was wanting the things, because she really has created the most important things. Our family is something that I give her a lot of credit for making very special for us at this stage in our life and for our family in general. We get together regularly.
We have a very special family. One of them was that we practice, and we pretty much did it from the beginning. Don't use the word divorce. And you can be at each other's throat. You can be mad as you know what, but don't start throwing that word out, because once you do, it kind of opens a door for sometime when you're really mad and you say, I'm getting a divorce or whatever. We just kind of made a pact that we would not use that word.
Yeah, and I think we've hit upon some of the other things, having a trust for each other. I completely trust her. I don't, when she goes shopping, I don't sit there and sweat bullets like, how much is she going to spend? I trust her. She trusts me. And that's a big one. I believe that we give each other the freedom to live our lives. She has a lot of friends, and she does a lot of social things, as do I, and we give each other the freedom to do that. So trust, freedom. What else would you think?
Well, a lot of things you just have to develop.
Yeah.
You move in with each other, and you're gonna, do the toilet paper different ways and squeeze the toothpaste different ways, and one wants to get up in the morning early, one wants to sleep in. All those kind of things
A lot of
you have to
adjustments,
work on.
yeah. You just got to be flexible too. Flexible's not.
If possible, be flexible.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. Well, we're here at 50 years. That's something to be very thankful for. you know, like I've said before, I'm very thankful for what she's added to my life and given me the richness of life, things that money can't buy. You know, she's given me more love than I know what to do with sometimes. I'm very thankful for that. So, yeah, how about you?
Well, I'm thankful for God who
Oh, yeah.
loves me, and Jesus Christ who saves me. And I'm thankful for His Word, the Bible, which we read together also. And I'm very thankful to Him that, like I said a bit ago, that He made sure that we went to church. I mean, not that He had to make sure for me, but He also, on His part, it was a rare time that one of us stayed home and didn't go to church.
Yeah.
So that was important to us. And I'm very thankful for the family and friends we have. The grandkids in these last years have just brought incredible joy, and they know how happy they make me.
Oh, they know how much Grandma loves them.
Yeah, you too.
No doubt. Well, they know that too.
And I'm thankful for whoever does end up watching this video. We've prayed over it. I know that might sound weird to some people, but really we just wanted this to be a witness or a testament to marriage and how God played the incredible role in our marriage as we've gone along.
So guys, stick it out. It's worthwhile. Sometimes it may seem like, oh, I'm getting out of this, but no. You know what? The first one is the very best. You just need to stick it out, work it out.
And pay your house off.
Yeah. That's the banker.
That's the practical sense. But anyway, thank you.
Yes, thank you.